Yesterday was really one of the most hideous days of this year. There was no place to hide. The tech sector was abysmal. Apple, which is down again on the same news. We're getting Apple down every day on the same news, which is handset cuts. This time it was Lumentum. Skyworks last week. These are suppliers. Yesterday was a day where I felt that there were hedge funds who said, I'm not going to give up my year, I'm going to sell. And by the time they finished selling, they had given up their year.
Your point is, when it comes to names like NVIDIA, is exactly right, which is negative for the year now, after being up 50% 6 weeks ago.
Here's something you never want. An upgrade of NVIDIA based on the fact that the quarter's not going to be that good, the guidance won't be that good, and that's why you buy. Last time I looked, that was not so good. That's not what you buy for. I mean, it's not GE. I mean, that's the benchmark.
Susquehanna actually ups it to positive. Right. They take their target to 250, and then they say the odds of a guidance miss are high.
A guidance miss for one of the highest multiple stocks. I say what you do. I think NVIDIA is great. Let them report. If there is a guidance miss, the stock is not going to go up. We've seen that time and again. Guidance miss sends stocks down, not up. It isn't like people say, finally, a guidance miss. They say, a guidance miss. I mean, not everybody sees this thing. They say, oh, my God, NVIDIA just guided. Did you see NVIDIA? Just walk. Right?
Right. It is that type of a market where, regardless of what you report for the previous quarter, it's all about. But, you know, there are different times and different sentiments. Why now are investors responding so dramatically to a lack of guidance, even if it, by the way, is, let's call it, what they expected?
It's
China. But not better than
it. They do international, it's China, but it's no longer the narrative of tariff. It's that China's slowing, okay? If you do business in China, it's slowing. Skyworks, certainly. And then domestic, it's the fellow who speaks tomorrow. The man who has said, I have to break the economy to break the economy. That's the first one is...
Jerry.
Yes, the first one is B-R-E-A-K. The second one is B-R-A-K-E. Break the economy to break the economy. I was doing burn down the village to save it, but that was too cliched.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think, G? I'm sorry, David.
We can talk about that a bit later.
Your point, though, Powell's going to speak in Dallas. It's the first chance to hear from him since the Fed meeting. And, I mean, if he's even directionally dovish, Jim, what happens then?
Rally. Rally.
How much?
If he says the following, if he says, you know what, I've been watching the inflation inputs, I've been watching oil go down for 11 straight days, maybe it goes down to 12 straight days. I see that housing prices have clearly rolled over. I'm very concerned about China and the tariffs. You know what, we ought to have one Fed hike. And then I'm going to listen to Kramer and, okay, he doesn't say that. We're going to have one Fed hike, and then we're going to wait. That's going to be the all clear to buy, which is why that hedge fund analogy that I gave you, that they want to preserve the year, that's got to be wrong. See, when you just do nothing but to try to preserve your year, you are going to sell.
Their years are not preserved. They're done.
Really?
Yeah, the hedge fund model, I think, is broken.
No playoffs?
It won't matter.
They won't make the playoffs?
Somehow I'll sit here and say that next year they'll have inflows or they'll still be at $3 trillion or whatever the number is. But anecdotally, none of the big ones are up. They're all down, and many of them are down, I think, getting close to double digits for the year.
Well, that's
because
ferocious.
They were all the same stocks, which always seems to happen. They're not hedged effectively,
they're not
as they say there will be.
Clorox.
And then they all take risk off at the same time and suffer.
You needed to be in McCormick, Clorox, American Electric Power, Simon Property Group. Can you imagine that? Simon Property Group?
Okay, right. So who's in those?
Nobody. That's why they're up.
Instead, they're all in PG&E or whatever the
No, they weren't in
is.
that. They were in that stupid thing, that FANG thing that somebody created.
Yeah, of course.
Moron.
That guy.
I have disavowed any knowledge of FANG. To me, FANG is just, is white FANG. That's
Jack
the only
London.
FANG I know.
It's Jack London.
Jack London.
Yes.
Oh, my. To build a fire, one of the absolute best. When he burns the money at the end, that's a hedge fund thing.
That's what they do.
They burn the money.
You mentioned
that's our strategy.
You mentioned guidance today, Jim, and Home Depot not only beats but does raise their guide. They now see 975 versus a prior 942, comps 55 versus a prior 53. Although tax rate did help, and this is the current quarter.
All right, now this is a good example of what you asked me about. This was a good quarter, and everyone was thinking that this is a housing stock, not a retailer. This was a retail kind of number. They beat the comps. I really only care about the comps. Suddenly we're talking tax rate. Suddenly we're talking that there were other people who were higher. Home Depot was good. It sells at 20 times earnings. But people are afraid. They're afraid. They're saying it is related to housing, which is tanking. What were you yawning?
I'm not yawning. I mean, what is with all the doom and gloom?
China?
We just added 250,000 jobs last Friday.
Well,
Friday?
Powell hates that.
We have a 3.7%
Powell hates
unemployment
that.
rate.
Powell hates that.
So GDP, I
He's
mean,
a
by the way, I sound like a cheerleader.
You
I
sure
sound
do.
like Larry Kudlow.
Well, I was thinking the same
want me to
thing.
do a little
If you
Kudlow
mention King Dollar and Red China Rising, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that's the end.
Okay, I
When
won't.
did you switch sides?
No, I did not.